कस्तूरी तिलकं ललाट पटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभम् नासाग्रे वरमौक्तिकं करतले वेणुकरे कङ्कणम् सर्वांगे हरिचन्दनं सुललितं कंठे च मुक्तावली गोपास्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपालचूरामणि वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. Reading from Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, we are in Canto 10 and we are reading about Akrura's visit to Mathura, and he is the charioteer, and in the chariot Shri Krishna and Sri Balram are seated, and we are witnessing the most magical phenomena. When Akruraji takes a dip in the river, he he sees Sri Krishna and Balram in the water, and he is very much surprised. So he comes out of the water and he looks at the chariot. Sri Krishna and Sri Balram are seated there also. Again, he doesn't believe his eyes. He takes a deep dip into the river, and he again sees Shri Krishna and Balram there, and this time he sees the Ananta Shesh and Shri Krishna in the form of Lord Narayan lying on the serpent bed, and all the servitors of Narayan are serving him, and so many other divine glimpses he has. So we are reading something very beautiful about the opulences of the Lord. Lord is present as Shri Krishna and Sri Balram in the human form, in the avatar form, but the Lord is also there in every particle of the universe, and he can manifest anywhere. This is something uh, very much normal for the Supreme Personality, who is all opulent. He has the Shad Ashwarya in infinite magnitude, and the Shad Ashwarya are the important six opulences, but actually he is all opulent and he has all the opulences. So everything about the Supreme is incomprehensible, and Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran is providing us such a great experience, which is also resolving all our questions. And in the age of Kali, all we have to do is to remember with the loving remembrance of the Lord, and with the loving, with the Nam Sankirtan, with the chanting of the Lord's name, with loving emotion, all that is achieved in Satyug with great meditation, the Dhyan, all that is achieved in Treta with great Yagya, all that is achieved in Dwapar with Puja, Archana is achieved just by Nam Sankirtan. And in the chapter 12, the point is very well illustrated through a shlok. The last shlok of the 4th chapter in the 12th canto says, Krita yuge dhyayate Vishnu treta yajate makhai द्वापरे परिचर्यायाम कली युगे नाम अद्भिर कीर्तनाथ. I'm missing a few words here and there, but this is the exact shloka which is used by Sri Tulsidas ji in Ramcharitmanas, which we shared in the last couple of sessions, and which is एहि कली काल न साधन दूजा जुग यज्ञ जप तप व्रत पूजा एहि कली काल न साधन दूजा जोग यज्ञ जप तप व्रत पूजा राम ही सुमिरिय गाइय राम ही संतत सुनिय राम गुण ग्राम ही सुमिरिय राम ही गावहि. Just 1 second. राम ही सुमिरिय गाइय राम ही संतत सुनिय राम गुण ग्राम ही. श्री राम जय जय राम. श्री राम जय जय राम. So very important point. कृते यद ध्यायतो विष्णु त्रेतायाम यजतो मखै द्वापरे परिचर्यायाम कलौ तद्वीर कीर्तनाथ. सत्ययुग में भगवान का ध्यान करने से, त्रेता में बड़े बड़े यज्ञों के द्वारा उनकी आराधना करने से और द्वापर में विधि पूर्वक उनकी पूजा सेवा से जो फल मिलता है वह कलियुग में केवल भगवान नाम का कीर्तन करने से ही प्राप्त हो जाता है. By doing meditation in Satyug, by performing great fire sacrifices, yajnas in Treta, by doing the worship of the deity of the Lord in Dwapar, whatever results we achieve, the God realization is achieved in Kali Yuga just by loving remembrance and chanting of the Lord's name, pastimes, leelas, gun, dham, etc. And the same point Tulsidas ji is saying, Ehi kalikal na karan, ehi kalikal na sadhan duja. There is no other method in Kali Yuga. Jog japya yajna jap tap vrat puja. The Ashtang Yoga, the eightfold yoga, the meditation, the austerities, the fasting, worship, all these will not work. What will work in Kali Yuga is Ramahi Sumiriya, remembrance of the name of the Lord. Ram Gaiya Ramahi, chanting of the Lord's name. Ramahi Suniya, Rama Gun Gramahi, and listening to, hearing the Leelas of the Lord. So this is one point. And before we move to the bhajan and the text reading, I just wanted to share a story about what is true devotion, what are the true sentiments in the hearts of a devotee is very well illustrated by this story, which I heard for the first time yesterday. And this is a true incident from Rajasthan. There was this Seth, the businessman in Rajasthan. He knew a saintly person who was undertaking a journey to Jagannath Puri. And when he comes to know that this saintly person is going to Jagannath Puri, he gives him 100 rupees note and he tells him, please offer this to Jagannath ji on my behalf. And these are in the olden days when 100 rupees meant a lot. And the person says, yes, sir, I will offer it to Jagannath ji on your behalf. And he proceeds to Jagannath ji. He undertakes the journey. And during the journey, he is observing that there are many co-travelers who are saintly, they are devotees, but they are very poor and they don't have much to eat. Now he is thinking he has this 100 rupees. If he could feed them, that would be so good, because he cannot bear the way they are suffering from the lack of food. So he thinks and communicates within his heart to the Lord, oh Lord, I would like to spend this money and feed them, but I will incur a sin, I know, because this is the money which is given by the Seth ji for offering to you. And but the sin will occur to me, the sin will accrue to me. I will take that sin. So please let me do that. And he has started spending the money and started feeding those co-travelers. And by the time he reached Jagannath ji's temple, only 2 rupees were left to him, were left on him. And he could offer only 2 rupees to the Lord. And he admitted that I have committed this great mistake. And please do punish me, because this is a transgression of the faith that the Seth ji had reposed to me. And then he finishes his pilgrimage and he goes back. And when the Seth ji tells him, so how was it? And did you offer the 100 rupees? He says, yes, I offered. He spoke a lie. And the Seth ji is very happy that he has donated 100 rupees and he is tom-tomming about it. He is telling everyone that I sent 100 rupees to Jagannath ji and this saintly person has delivered. And he was so much imbued in these thoughts that when he slept, he kept thinking about it. And in the dream, Jagannath ji appears. In a very vivid dream, Jagannath ji appears. And then he tells Jagannath ji, oh Jagannath ji, so did you receive my 100 rupees and how was it? So Jagannath ji tells him, no, I received only 98 rupees. And then he was angry that why this man did not offer the full 100 rupees and why did he take 2 rupees for him. And he said, is it so? I had given him 100 rupees and he's a saintly person, but how could he do it? Let me talk to him. So next morning when he gets up, he calls for that saintly person, and when he comes, he questions him, he scolds him, why did you do it? You have offered only 98 rupees. This is what Jagannath ji told me in the dream. And this man then started thinking. His first thought was, oh Jagannath ji, you have revealed to me what is the true meaning of offering. So thank you so much. He did not say much, but this is what he thought. So we should take a cue from such stories to understand what is it that the Lord is wanting. So with that, let us now move to the bhajan, and after bhajan, we will read the text, and then we will have some interactions. Radhe Radhe.
जी भैया। राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे। ओ माई राधे गोविंद, I desire neither bhakti, material pleasures, nor mukti, liberation. I only desire the sweet nectar of your divine love. Make me a servant of your servant's servant. You are the ocean of the nectar of Braj. I am begging you for just a drop. Bless me with gopi prem through any of your gopis. Make me such that I always shed tears of love when I call your name. Make me such that I always sing your glories with ecstasy. Make me such that I always meditate on your divine form. Make me such that I see you wherever I cast my glance. Make me such that I become unable to live without you. O loving daughter of King Vrishbhanu, O Radharani, says Shri Kripaluji Maharaj, tell me if there is anybody as bad as me in this world. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे भुक्ति मुक्ति ना दे राधे प्रेम सुधा दे भुक्ति मुक्ति भुक्ति मुक्ति ना दे राधे प्रेम सुधा दे निज दासी 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 बना दे निज दासी 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 बना दे राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे ब्रज रस की एक बूंद पिला दे ब्रज रस की एक बूंद पिला दे को गोपी ते गोपी प्रेम दिला दे को गोपी ते गोपी प्रेम दिला दे राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे तेरा नाम लेके रो ऐसी बना दे तेरा नाम लेके रो ऐसी बना दे जित तेरी छवि ध्याऊं नित ऐसी बना दे तेरी छवि ध्याऊं नित ऐसी बना दे राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे Yes, please.
तेरी छवि ध्यान नित ऐसी बना दे तेरी छवि ध्यान नित ऐसी बना दे जित देखूं तू ही दिखे ऐसी बना दे जित देखूं तू ही दिखे ऐसी बना दे राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे तेरे बिनु जियूं नहीं ऐसी बना दे तेरे बिनु जियो नहीं, ऐसी बना दे श्री वृषभानु दुलारी प्यारी राधे। श्री वृषभानु दुलारी प्यारी राधे, को हो कृपालु सो जो बुरा तो बता दे, को हो कृपालु सो जो बुरा तो बता दे। राधे राधे गोविंद, गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद, राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे, राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे, राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे, राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे।
गोविंद गोविंद राधे, गोविंद गोविंद राधे। श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार
सरकार की जय,
जय। श्रीमद युगल सरकार
सरकार
की
की
जय।
जय।
जय जय श्री
श्री
राधे,
राधे,
जय जय श्री
श्री
राधे,
राधे,
जय जय श्री
श्री
राधे।
राधे।
Our koti koti pranam to the lotus feet of Sri Hari and Sri Guru. Our koti koti pranam to Swami Mukundanand ji. My humble pranam to each one of you. And now let us read from the chapter 41, Krishna and Balram enter Mathura, Canto 10. Sukhdev ji begins, while Akrura was still praying in the river Kalindi, the Lord Narayan's divine image dissolved out of his sight, like how an actor wraps up his act and then Akrura came out and finished his worship rituals. Seeing Akrura still dazed with the divine sight, Krishna and Balram, Krishna with Balram, who were waiting for him, asked Akrura, "Oh, Uncle Akrura, you are glowing. What is it that you have seen? Seeing your happy face, it must definitely be something extraordinary and wonderful." To which Akrura replies, "You, O Lord, are seen in every atom of your own wonderful creation, whether in air, land, or water. And now, directly seeing you personally, no other sight or miracle can be more wonderful or exist anywhere." Gandhini Putra Akrur then mounted the chariot and arrived in Mathura by evening. Many villagers feasted their eyes beholding the two brothers on their way to Mathura and remained wide eyed and wonder struck with their darshan. Nandaraj and others had already reached Mathura and were waiting for Krishna in a garden outside Mathura. Reaching the garden, getting down from his chariot, Krishna grasped Akrur's hands and said, "You may proceed further to your home while we shall rest, refresh here, and then explore Mathura." So, in the picture, we see Akrurji, who has been the charioteer, and he has brought Shri Krishna and Shri Balram in his chariot, and they are now in Mathura. Akrurji would want Shri Krishna and Balram to come and visit their house, but Krishna says that you please proceed to your home. We will rest, refresh here, and then explore Mathura. So let us see what happens in the next slide. Akrur said, "O Lord, do not abandon me in this manner. I seek your protection and shelter. Let us all go home together, and your presence will grace my house and family. As a grihastha, I shall, by serving and bathing your lotus feet, not only purify my house, but it will also then satisfy our Pitrs, ancestors, the Yagyas and the Devatas. Even King Bali did the same and attained not only pure merits but also received immense affluence, power, and also the ultimate goal of God realization. Those waters which washed your feet then flowed out as pure Ganga, purifying the three worlds, flowing down, and that purest Ganga, borne by Lord Shiv on his head, has paved the way to heaven to the sons of King Sagar only after they came in contact with the Ganges." Verse 10:41:16. देव देव जगन्नाथ पुण्य श्रवण कीर्तन यदु तमोत्तम श्लोक नारायण नमोस्तुते नारायण नमो अस्तुते. Translation: My salutation be to you, O Lord of the universe, adored even by the gods, the hearing and recital of whose praises bring supreme merit, O jewel among the Yadus, O Narayan of excellent renown. So the glories by Akrura ji are recited here, and he talks about the merits accumulated, merits accrued by the grace of the Lord. He gives the example of Bali Maharaj, that how the sacrifice, the yajna ceremony conducted by him, and the Lord's presence, and all those that happened, all those episode that happened, it ultimately paved the way for Ganga to descend into the material world from the heaven. Because when Baliji had expanded himself and he had no other place to put his third step, then Baliji, when Lord Vaman had no place to put his third step, Baliji had offered his head, and then uh, by then, the Lord had expanded him so much that his toe had reached the outermost point in the material universe, and it had penetrated the paravyom, and that is how Ganga from the spiritual abode had descended. And we all know that it came with such a tremendous force that Lord Shiv had to contain it in his jata, and then finally it came onto the earth through different channels, and it washed the ashes of the sons of King Sagar, and how they were absolved of their sins. So wonderful story and wonderful recitation by Akrurji. Let us move to the next slide. So let me hand over to Yatinji for this.
जी भैया. Does anyone want to read, or I can go ahead?
Can I read, Bhaiya, please?
Yes, Devi, please.
So the Supreme Lord replied, O Akrura, only after I have slain Kans, the enemy of the Yadu race, which will bring happiness and delight to my relations, only then shall I, along with Balram, visit your house. Sukhdevji continues, very disappointed with the Lord's reply, Akrura alone entered Mathura, and after informing, updating Kans about Krishna's arrival, he went to his own home. Later, Krishna, Shankarshan, Balram, and their Gopa friends fearlessly entered Mathura to explore it. Krishna noticed the formidable high-walled entrance, its houses made of crystal with arched gold doors. The warehouses and granaries fortified with a moat around, with gardens, parks, and greenery spread out in the city. Sheds of gold erected at crossroads, rest houses too of gold, different meeting halls for different organizations, and other such public buildings. Birds like peacock, pigeons chirping and chattering in front of the residences, perched in their individual sheds. Pavements were laid with precious gems and stones. All over the places were sprinkled with water and flowers. Barley sprouts, paddy and rice grains strewn over. Pitchers full of water were placed at the entrance of the houses with a sprinkle of curd, santal paste designed on them, and the doorway beautifully decorated with mango leaves, flowers, etc.
Radhe Radhe. So The Lord has replied to Akrura that let me first do my work for which I have come over. That's what he is indirectly saying, that after I have slain Kans, who is the enemy of the Yadu race, and that is what will bring happiness and delight to all my relatives, then only I will come with Balramji to visit your house. So Akrurji was visibly disappointed because he was so keen that Shri Krishna and Balram visit his house. So, but he returned, and later Krishna ji, Balram, who is also called Shankarsan, and the Gopa friends, they entered Mathura without any fear. Then they watch, then they see this high walled entrance, and then the houses were made of crystal, and the gold doors were arched, and all the the buildings in the city are described, the warehouses and the granaries which had a moat around it, and everything was so opulent. Sheds of gold created at the crossroads, rest houses, meeting halls, other public buildings. And then there were birds like peacock, pigeons, and they were moving all about and chirping. The pavements were laid with gems and stones. The places were sprinkled with water and flowers, barley sprouts, paddy, rice grains. So, very beautiful depiction of the city with a sprinkle of curd, sandal paste, etc. is described here. So, let's move on to the next slide.
Shall I carry on or do you want to read it yet? Yasin Bhaiya?
I can read it. This one.
Thank you.
The women, on hearing of Krishna's arrival, dropping whatever they were doing at that time and ignoring their own disheveled state, rushed to catch a glimpse of Shri Krishna from their homes, rooftops, and terraces. Krishna, walking with the grace and gait of an elephant, captivated all the women with his glances and smiles, who kept feasting on this divine sight. The ladies who had till now only heard of Krishna's glory mentally embraced this vision of the Lord right in front of their thirsty eyes, thrilling with joy, and ended their agony of separation, which had been intolerable till now. Showering flowers showering flowers with their affection feelings too on Krishna and Balram, the women stood with glowing, blissful, beaming faces. The waiting Brahmins worshipped Krishna and Balram as they approached with offering of curds and whole rice grains, barley corns as auspiciousness, along with garlands and perfumes offering sweets and fruits. The Mathura women discussed, oh, what great severe austerities the gopis have performed to behold these two lords uninterruptedly in Vraj, the sight which brings great delight to all. Touring Mathura, Krishna came across a laundryman Dhobi and asked, please give suitable, best, and well washed clothes that you have as a gift to me and Balram, and you will surely be gloriously blessed forever. Radhe Radhe.
Right. So again, the sentiments of the women who heard about Krishna's arrival are very well depicted. They ignored their own disheveled estate. They are so much eager to rush and to catch a glimpse of Sri Krishna from their homes, rooftops, and terraces. And when they finally had their gaze on Sri Krishna, they kept feasting on this divine sight. So far they had only heard about Krishna's glories, and now they mentally embrace the vision of the Lord in front of their thirsty eyes, and ended their agony of separation, which had been intolerable. They showered flowers, and the women stood with glowing, blissful, beaming faces. Then the waiting Brahmins, they also worshipped Krishna and Balram. They offered curds and the whole rice grains, barley corns, etc. And what did the Mathura women discuss? they said, "Oh, what a great severe austerity the gopis have performed to behold these two lords in Braj, this sight which brings great delight to all." And then touring Mathura, Krishna came across a dhobi, a washerman, and he wanted clothes from him. So, saying that, please give me the clothes and we will bless you forever. So, let's see what happens in the next slide.
The foolish, arrogant servant of King Kans angrily retorted back, "You who reside in woods and forest do not deserve such royal clothes, which is our king's possessions. If you value your life, be careful what you speak, utter, or even whisper. Better go away, because if the king's men hear, they will bind you, slay, and take over all your possessions." Hearing these brazen words, the Supreme Lord Krishna then with a mere slap severed the head of the Rajak washerman. The other servants panicked and dropping everything ran away in fright. Krishna and Balram then selected and wore outfits as per their wish and then distributed some to the Gopas too, scattering the balance clothes on the ground. On going ahead a little further, a devoted weaver gifted colorful, beautiful cloth ornaments, accessories to the brothers. Wearing the same, the two brothers shone and dazzled in those tasteful, decorative, festive ornament outfits. Immensely pleased with the weaver, Krishna granted him Sarupya Mukti, similar form as the Lord, after death, and also while alive blessed him with great prosperity, physical strength, authority, memory, and acuteness of the senses. They then arrived at a florist's house named Sudama, who greeted them with a Dandavat Pranam and then seating them comfortably, he blissfully washed their feet. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So there are three sub stories within this uh, slide. One is about this washerman who mocked at the two boys, Krishna and Balram, saying that you all are rustic coming from the woods, you don't have manners. And before Kans comes to know about you and punishes you, you better just go away. So he insulted them and then he did not give the clothes. And what Krishna does, he slaps him. And he slaps and his head is severed. So Rajak is the washerman. So the washermen are called Rajak. So he was killed, and then the clothes were selected by Krishna and Balram, and even the Gopas were given the outfits. Then they go a little further, and then they meet a devoted weaver. So this weaver who used to make the fabrics, he gifts colorful clothes and ornaments, and the lords wear them, and they shine and dazzle in those decorative, festive ornaments outfits. And then, because Sri Krishna is so pleased with the weaver, he grants him Sarupya Mukti. So there are five types of mukti: Sayujya, Sarupya, Salokya, Sarsti, and Samipya. Samipya means those who wish to be close to the Lord, near, vicinity. That is Samipya. Sarupya is those who desire the same looks as the Lord. Sarsti is they want the same opulences as the Lord. These are Sakam Mukti. And Salokya is they want to reside in the same lokas with the Lord. And of course, Sayujya Mukti is the Advait Mukti, which is, you know, the merging into the Brahma Jyoti. So here Sarupya Mukti is described, which was granted to the weaver. So the weaver will attain Sarupya Mukti after his death, but while he is alive, he will become prosperous in his strength, authority, memory, acuteness of the senses. So this is what happens when the Lord graces the devotee. And the third part of the story is the Lord goes to a florist's house, the one who is dealing in flowers. His name is Sudama. This is another Sudama, of course, is the friend of the Lord, whom we will read about later in this canto. This Sudama is the florist who greets the Lord and then he washes their feet. Let us move on to the next slide.
Providing water to the two and accompanying Gopas also to wash their hands, he worshipped them with articles like sandal paste, garlands, betel leaves, etc. Sudama prays, "Blessed am I today for beholding you, O Lord," means my Pitras, means rishis, sages, and the devtas too are happy with me and have favored me with this rare boon. As the ultimate cause of all causes, you both have incarnated on earth by your own will for the prosperity of the world. Though it is known you especially love your devotees, it is also true that you treat everyone as equal, and therefore please command and order this humble servant of yours. What service can I offer you? Which is a rare blessing, chance, boon, which one gets entrusted to do for your service. Saying this, Sudama joyfully offered two excellent fragrant garland of fresh flowers to the two brothers. Krishna then told Sudama to ask for any boon. Sudama asked for protection and eternal unflinching devotion to Shri Krishna, friendship of his devotees, and transcendental compassion to all. The Lord then conferred not only what Sudama wished, but also fortune, physical strength, longevity, glory, and splendor. The two divine brothers and others then left from there. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So the Lord is very much merciful, and somebody who shows respect and honor and devotion to Him, most importantly, devotion to Him, he melts and he becomes a great well wisher. That's what he says in Bhagavad Gita, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu Name Dveshyo Asti na Priyaha ये तु भजन्ते माम मयि ते तेषु चाप्म्यहम् ये तु भजन्ते माम भक्त्या मयि ते तेषु चाप्म्यहम् I am neutral to all. I am not unduly favorable or non-favorable to anyone. I am neutral. But those who come to me, I become their friends. So, of course, he becomes biased to those who devote to him, and that is very natural. Otherwise, everyone is neutral for the Lord. So, here, this person is showing such a loving devotion. So, the Lord makes no stone unturned in rewarding him. And this person has got physical strength, longevity, glories, splendor just by serving the Lord with his loving sentiments, by washing his feet and offering flowers, etc. Let's move on to the next. So now we come to the last shlok, number 13. In this verse of the boon granted to Sudama, सोऽपि वक्रेचलां भक्तिं तस्मिन्नेवाखिलात्मनि तद्भक्तिषु च सौहार्दं भूतेषु च दयां पराम्. He too asks for the gift of unflinching devotion to Sri Krishna alone, the self of all, as well as friendship with his devotees and supreme disinterested compassion for all created beings. So, this is the best gift one can ask. O Lord, I just want to serve you. I don't want to distract myself. My one pointed focus is to serve you. That is what we mean when we say out of the four daily do's that we undertake, the first one is chanting Radhe in every breath. Outgoing breath, incoming breath Ra, outgoing breath The. So that is the first part, remembrance, constant remembrance. Second part is we are friendly to everyone. We don't wish bad to anyone. We don't hurt anyone. This is the point number 2. The point number 3 is we remain grounded and humble. That we are so fallen. The Maya is dominating me. I am incurring so much of mistakes despite my efforts. So that humility. And number 4 is that uh, the the we see the presence of the Lord in everyone. So these are the four points we have to remember every day. Sri Maharaji says. So the next slide, please. So now we come to the takeaway, which is Janmadyasya yato anvayaditarat sacharte abhishwagya swarad tene brahma hridaya adi kavye muhyanti yat suryah तेजो वारी मृदाम यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परम धीमहि. So this is from the first slok of the first canto of the first chapter of Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran. This is an amazing expression of the Lord's personality, of the Lord's character and the feature. And here the Supreme Lord is described as Satyam Param Dhimahi. He is the absolute truth. That makes Bhagwat Mahapuran a secular granth. Anyone can take shelter of Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, because here the first slok describes the supreme entity as the absolute truth. Whether we call him Krishna or Shiv or Ram or Allah or Khuda or Sat Sri Akal or Ahur Mazda, that is not mentioned here. Absolute truth fits, and every religion, this is applicable. So very amazing shlok. One can go on and on about this shlok, but what it means in brief is, O my Lord, Shri Krishna, son of Vasudev, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Shri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes, temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature, appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Shri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. So we can do self-study of this shloka from time to time to understand the deeper meaning of this beautiful opening statement. Let's move on to the next. So, dharma projit kaitovotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastvamatra vastu shivadam tapatraya unmulanam Shrimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kimva Pararishwaraha Sadhyo Hridaya Varudhyat Atra Kritibi Shushrusubi Stachanat. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavad Puran propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. Such a beautiful second shlok in the first canto, first chapter. Let's move on to the next. निगम कल्पतरोर गलितम फलम शुकमुखादमृत द्रव संयुतम पिबत भागवत रसमालयम मुहुर्हो रसिका भुवि भावुका. O expert and thoughtful man, relish Shrimad Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Sri Shukdev Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful, although its nectarean juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. So, Bhagavat is Pibat Bhagavat Rasamalayam. It is the repository of nectar. So first it describes that it is a fruit on the desired tree, the Kalpa Vriksh. So in the Kalpa Vriksh, there is the fruit which is to be drunk. Now fruit normally we eat, but Bhagavad says this fruit has no fiber, the fruit has no gutli, kernel, the fruit has no chilka, skin. It is pure nectarian, and everything about this fruit is glorious. And this fruit is tasted by Shukdev, the divine personality from the abode of Radharani. That is the personality of Shukdev ji. He represents the parrot, Leela Shuk. If you have a mango tree in your orchard, and if the season has begun and the mangoes have appeared and now the mangoes are ripening, and if a parrot has come and tasted one of the mangoes, that mango is the most tasty. That is how it is described, that this fruit in the Kalpa Vriksha Bhagavat is tasted by Shukdev ji, so it has become the most nectarian, and all the Rasik sense are forever wanting to relish this nectar, and there is no parallel of that. That is the answer to all our miseries, that is the mitigation of all our suffering, and that is the passport to the eternal bliss. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Bhaiya. Beautiful session today. And it, three things actually stuck in my mind. Um, I was thinking about them from this in this session when I was preparing the slides also, and like when we are reading just now also. One is that to the devotees in Mathura who maybe, and it was mentioned also that they have heard about the glories of Krishna and Balram, but never seen them. But they are at that supreme level of devotion, even on par with maybe the people who are actually seeing them on daily basis and seeing their leelas and doing in reality, and not just like hearing from someone. So so I mean, this is, to me it is like I cannot I cannot even imagine like how, what are the sanskars or what are the things they have done in the past life, so that I mean they just hearing all those stories and just seeing on first glance, they just know that who Krishna is and who Balram is, and they are doing these stutis and describing them with all the emotions. And so that is one takeaway for me, like to to, I mean, from this chapter. Second is the to the no ordinary people, like who maybe do not believe him. And there are many in the Vraj also, I think, and we have heard or read about them earlier also. And there was one in this story, the washerman, who did not know, who did not understand, or maybe did not believe, or maybe he was just arrogant, or uh, so. But yeah, I mean, so ultimately I mean, but Krishna liberated him, delivered him. And I mean, yesterday when I was preparing the slide, I was like, uh, well, I mean, but was the reason? But yeah, I mean, we cannot think about the reasons behind of the Lord's Leelas actually, and there must be something. As I mean, and the example which I remembered after that instantly was the deliverance of Putana. So she came to kill Krishna with all the mechanics, but yeah, I mean, she was also intention was not good, but as Maharaji also described the reason behind that in multiple times. So similar was here also. So he also gets to get benefit of going to Golok after even after saying bad things to Krishna. So yeah, in each of the slide, and each of the short stories, there was a lot to learn about devotion, about love, and even for the Sudama, who was a very devoted person, and he asked for Krishna said to him to ask something, and he gave beyond that also to him, not just. But when gopis were there in the forest, Krishna was like hiding here and there just to. But I mean, because I mean we know that gopi and gopi prem is like the viraha prem, so they want this uh, love of separation and feeling of that is so that so ultimately, I mean, there were these questions coming, not questions, but like I was trying to understand these short stories, and then I came to the conclusion that these, I mean, very complex, and we don't have the mm, intellect, not even like very minute intellect to understand this, and we should not go on that part of understanding like why it happened, why not. So it is just a part, grand scheme, and part of the Lord's Leela, and we just as we read in the key takeaways in the end, 1, 2, and 3 shlokas, he is the absolute truth, and and this Bhagavatam represents the devotion and the love, which about the Krishna, the supreme Lord and the absolute truth. Yes. So yeah, I mean, I was just discussing, telling you about like what in this chapter, what like I was thinking about when we were reading also, and when I was preparing the slides. Yeah. Thank you, Bhaiya,
Sure.
for the session.
Thank you very much. And yes, you tried to analyze them. And of course, that's the natural tendency. So the stories are complex, but Sri Maharaji has so beautifully explained many of those stories. And if we have regularly been hearing, we get an answer to all these questions, in a very magical way. For example, when you say he killed Putna, and yet Putna was given the Golok. So when this question was raised to Sri Krishna, what does he say? So he says that yes, it is true that Putna has smeared the Kalkut wish on her body, and she is there to feed him and kill him. But then he is saying, okay, I understand that, but the moment I have started feeding on her, what is the relationship? She is now acting like a mother to me. So when she is acting like a mother to me, I have to show the sentiments of a son. And then, although she has to be killed, but then the fact that she has shown the motherly affection, she is rewarded. And that is the unbelievable grace of the Lord, that he is infinitely uh, a Karan Karun, causelessly merciful. So his heart is forever batting for the devotee's welfare. So this is how we can analyze. And yes, it is true that many times we don't know the past of the person who was killed and why he was killed, but it is definitely the fact that when the Lord himself has killed the person, that person has attained his abode. Radhe Radhe.
Sheila Didi, Hema Didi.
Radhe Radhe Bhaiya. Again, a really, really great session. Similar to Yatin Bhaiya, I also had that question about when Krishna Bhagwan slapped this person. What was the reason behind it? But then again, the similar answer to what you have given is we don't know what's Bhagwan's Leela and why he does what he does. But even the slightest touch of him would liberate anybody. So why question these? Thanks, Bhaiya. Radhe Radhe. Beautiful slides, Yatin Bhaiya. Beautiful story, Rajesh ji. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Radhe Radhe.
Hema Didi, Smita Didi.
Radhe Radhe. Yes, another wonderful session. The dhobi was from Ram Avatar? Is it the same dhobi?
I think there is some connection that this Dhobi had perhaps done an act which needed Sri Krishna, which needed the Lord to correct him. Let me recall. I mean, I don't immediately remember, but I think there is a connection. There is always a connection that,
Something there.
yeah. Hmm?
Because it was Ram overheard the dhobi speaking.
Correct.
That,
It is the same Dhobi
something-
because the Dhobi had heard. Yes, yes.
Oh,
The Dhobi told his wife that his wife had gone out and he is now abandoning his wife. And he is telling the wife that don't think that I am like Ram, that Sita stayed outside and with Ravan and I am going to accept her. I am not going to do that. So he was punishing his wife. And I think it is the same Dhobi who was punished for his one-sided verdict. Right, you are right. It's the same
so
Dhobi.
it wasn't the dhobi's time to go during the Ram Avatar. Instead, he
Right.
went in this beautiful way by
True,
the touch
true.
of Sri Krishna. Wonderful, wonderful. Radhe Radhe, thank you.
Radhe, Radhe.
Wow. My book.
राधे राधे भैया।
राधे राधे।
बहुत सुंदर सेशन था भैया। अकारण करुण भगवान जी की सारी लीलाओं को आपने और जतिन भैया ने बहुत ही सुंदर ढंग से संग्रह करके और उनको हमारे सामने एक बार फिर से बहुत ही अच्छी कहानियों और वृतांतों के वर्णन के साथ हमारे सामने रखा है। बहुत ही बढ़िया, बहुत ही अच्छा। राधे राधे।
राधे राधे। बोलिए श्रीमद सदगुरु सरकार की जय। श्रीमद युगल सरकार की जय। जय जय श्री राधे। जय जय श्री राधे। जय जय श्री राधे।
Radhe Radhe everyone.
Radhe Radhe. Wow. Okay, wait. Yeah, found it.